Bob Peters, host of Central Florida Salute YouTube. Central Florida Salute is located in Florida at Oklahoma. We travel all over Florida. I've been to Europe. And this show, and a couple of them now, are going to be in Oxford, Connecticut, where I started my volunteer work in the veterans community some 40 years ago. This is the Veterans Park that we helped put in, and we'll be talking about that later. In front of the town hall, where the Veterans Park is located, as you can see, we have a nautical display. And over here is the statue at the park with some seats. It has a poem on it that was written by me, but you won't see my name on it because it's a Veterans Park for all veterans, no names. And we'll be talking about this with my good friend, Bill Baxter, who did a lot of work to help me put this in. You know, nobody does anything alone. Veterans Walkway to the memorial, War Memorial. I'm trying to sing. I grew up in this gym. 1956, I played basketball. We got one over here I'd like you to take a look at. I've never seen this one before. Always remember, never forget. They came in peace. Hi, this is our first stop on our tour of Oxford. This is my old home post, David S. Miles, post 174, located right off the road, so you're going to hear some traffic. But this is where it all started for me, my volunteer commitment. We're going to go inside, we're going to meet the adjutant, we're going to meet the commander. This is all one-room schoolhouse, and we'll talk about that later. So, right back. Hello and welcome to Central Florida Salute YouTube. I am in Oxford, Connecticut at my old post. We're going to meet some new members here that I haven't met before, but later on I have a dear old friend that I'm going to introduce to you later. But right now I have this Army veteran, Ron. Say your last name for me.
Callanan.
Callanan?
Right.
Ron, welcome to Central Florida Salute. You know, Central Florida Salute, we film everywhere. And I'm glad to be back here. This is my old home. I've been a member here for almost 40 years, along with some great people I've met here. So you want to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, you were in the United States Army. When were you in the Army, and what did you do?
I was in the Army in 1966 through 68, and I was a crew chief in the 1st and 9th Air Cav. Served in Vietnam, 67, 68.
Crew chief on what kind of airplane? Helicopter?
Hueys.
Huey, you were on a Huey.
Yeah.
So you know the whoop, 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 right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're from you told me England originally, right?
Right.
Tell
Oh,
me-
I was born in England, yes, and then I became naturalized when my mother became naturalized.
Okay. So, you ever been back to England?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
a number of times.
So, what made you decide to go into the army? And what did you go to? Where did you go to school?
I went to school at Andrew Ward in Fairfield, and I was going to Norwalk State Tech, and then I got drafted.
What were you taking up in Norwalk?
Engineering.
My brother went to Norwalk State Tech. That was many years ago. He's probably a little old. How old are you now?
I'm 79.
Hey, he's about your age. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so tell me about, you went into service, you got drafted, where did you go? And, right away, for basic and all that. Oh, don't show me, show the camera.
I went to Fort Eustis, Virginia, and then went to Ankh for the first first Cav, and then from there I was assigned to the 1st to the 9th.
Okay, so when you how long did you do in Vietnam, did you say?
67, 68.
You did 2 years?
No,
Oh, 1 year. One year,
year.
from 67 to 68. And you were, what did you say you were? What did you do when you were over there?
I was a crew chief.
On a Huey.
Right. I was also line chief.
What does that mean?
I made sure the flight line was up and running.
Oh, okay. So do you have any experiences that you care to talk about? I mean, what was it like for you? I mean, you're like 18 years old.
No, I was 20.
You were 20.
Yeah.
See, you were older than me when I went in. I was 19. I just turned 19. So you are now here in Oxford, and you told me you held several positions, and now you're the adjutant. Is that correct?
I'm the finance officer.
You're the
right now.
finance
Right.
officer. So you're the guy I got to talk to. Come here, buddy. But you also held other titles.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I was past commander for 2 years, and I also was adjutant for a while. So I've run the gamut.
Yeah. What made you join this post?
I wouldn't have joined any of them except that how this started was a friend of mine belonged here, and we used to go out and do different things. And one day we went by here, and he said, "Oh, let's stop in and have a beer."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay." So we went in, and much to my chagrin, when we got downstairs, all I heard from him was, "Hey guys, I want you to meet my buddy Ron. He was in the 1st of the 9th and he flew helicopters." And of course, the echo from the group was, "Good, get him a
Get him a
get him an
membership.
application."
Yeah.
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 So, rather than fight the crowd, I, gave him my money for the dues or else and figured that was the end of it. Well, then my curiosity got the better of me, and I came to a few meetings, and, I kind of liked what I saw. I also saw a lot of things I didn't care for. And one thing led to another, and next thing I know, somebody's nominating me to, and it's like, oh, Jesus.
That's a familiar story. Once again, I'm at the David S. Miles, Post 174 in Oxford, and I got to tell you, this guy here is an old friend of mine, and I have a lot of history here, and it's with this guy who really made a lot of history here. We made a lot together, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Because nobody does anything alone, and I know where to get the right people. But so this is Mr. Bill Baxter, United States Army,
Yeah,
and you were a paratrooper, right?
yes,
Why?
because I wanted to try it, so I did it.
I never could. I was in the Air Force. I never understood anybody jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. But tell me a little bit about when you were in, Bill. You were Were you born in Connecticut?
Yes,
You were? Where were you born?
in Trumbull,
In Trumbull?
in my mother's bedroom.
Oh, yeah, you were houseborn, huh?
Yes, yes.
Well, they don't do that very often anymore, do they?
Well,
So, you were in Trumbull, and then, well, how did you wind up in the Army?
I enlisted,
You enlisted,
yes,
and you were Korea, right?
yes.
So,
I never went to Korea.
but you were Korea era.
Yes,
Yeah. So what year did you go in?
1954.
So that's kind of like right after Korea. No, right after Korea, right?
Right.
Yeah. So did you get overseas?
No,
No.
well, I went to Alaska, that was overseas.
Once you enlisted, they all gave up, right? And said, "Hey, we don't want to fight against this guy." So tell me a little bit about where you went when you enlisted.
I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Took basic training there, and then I went to jump school right after basic training. And I spent 2 years there, and then I went to I can't think of the place in Georgia.
Oh, Georgia,
Yeah, and I had
Fort Benning. Oh,
no, I wasn't in Fort Benning.
oh, okay.
And it was a regular Army outfit because when they when we the 11th Airborne Division, which I was in then, went to Germany. I couldn't go because they jumped me right into the regular Army. So I went down there, and there was this first sergeant, and I had spit chain boots, and he said, "No, can't have spit chain boots." I said, "I don't think so, but I'll agree with you." So anyway, I didn't, and he was gonna put an X on it with some kind of paint, and I moved my foot. I wouldn't let him. He was old. He was an old guy, and he couldn't keep up with me. So I just moved my feet. I said, "You're not going to touch my boots." I said, "That's against the rules." So he sent me to the battalion commander, and he said, "Would you like to be in the airborne again?" I said, "Absolutely." He made a telephone call, and I had to do a physical, and I went back into the 82nd then. So, yeah.
I have a friend who's a singer. He's all over the country. His name is Rocky Lynn.
Oh,
Have you ever seen him? Heard of him? Rocky Lynn was in the 82nd.
is
I
that
do
right?
believe it was 82nd Airborne.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a long story. But anyway, quite a few friends of mine are people who jump out of airplanes, and I just don't understand it. How many jumps did you make?
I only made 29.
29?
29 jumps, yeah.
So you got out of the Army, and where did you go to work? What did you do?
I went to Sikorsky's.
Oh, Sikorsky's, yeah. They make a lot of the planes for during World War II and all that,
Yeah.
right?
And then we went on nights. They put us on night shift. And we got a new commander who was, I couldn't work for him, so
Oh,
he was giving me a bad time, and I said,
see ya.
if you give me a few minutes, I'll get changed. And I said, "You'll watch me sign out." I said, "I'm done." "Oh, no, you can't do that." I said, "Wait till I come out of the washroom and you can tell me I can't do it." And he went and got the battalion, I guess he was a commander anyway. And he come down and he said, "Would you stay?" I said, "Not with them, I won't." So he said, "Okay." He said, "You'll work here and then you won't have to report to him. You just stay." I said, "Okay." So I stayed for 2 more weeks, and then I retired from Sikorsky's, and I went to the UI.
That's right. You were with the power company, and that's when I met you because I was with the power company, CL&P,
Right.
and you were with UI.
Right.
And what did you do in UI? You were
I was read meters,
oh, okay.
and then I went to the stock room, and then I was into engineering. And I sort of spent the rest of my time as an engineer in the UI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you retired from there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been out 30 years.
Well, I was at the monument up at the Veterans Park up down the road here.
Yes.
And I made a comment about this is a Veterans Park, and I'm here in Oxford, Connecticut, and we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to reminisce with somebody, and that be you.
Yeah.
You and you did a lot of projects.
Yeah.
I know you and Bobby Fritz started Legion Baseball,
Yeah.
and at one time you had 2 teams going,
Yes, we did.
and you were also a lot of programs. But the one I remember the most with you was putting in that monument. The committee we had. What a great committee.
Yes.
And then Oxford is a small town, relatively speaking. It's gotten a lot bigger since I left. That was 20 years ago.
Yes.
And we had brought in the very first, remember the Vietnam veterans traveling wall that healed
Yes.
into
Oh,
Connecticut.
that was something.
Yeah.
That was
And
special.
Harold, who was no longer with us, he was involved in that in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, when I think of this place, I always think of you. I think of Burt Miles and Pat Keckler and some of the others, people here that do so much school programs. I did that for like 10, 11 years of school programs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but you were always around. You were always there doing things with me. But that monument, that was quite the story.
Oh, yeah. That was beautiful.
I was getting ready to move because I had some issues. I couldn't afford to stay here because my back was bothering me, the firewood and the snow. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So my wife says, we're going to go to Florida down where your sister is. Funny thing about that, after I went down there a couple of years later, my sister moved back up. I don't know. I don't know whether it was me or what. But anyway, when we brought in the traveling wall, Ed Oskowski was the selectman. Remember Ed?
Yes,
He
I
was a
do.
Korean veteran too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the ground, that project was amazing because it was nothing but a field.
Yeah.
But Northeast Utilities at the time put in lights. We built a walkway. We had a lot of men here from the Bernie Kayer. You know Bernie?
Yes, I do.
Bernie was,
He's still around.
is he?
He's going
What a guy he
Yes.
is. He was on the committee to help put that monument in, and he got some friends, and we built a walkway. It was like 200 feet long
Yes.
and 220 feet wide. And anyway, I'll never forget that. It was out in the middle of a field, and it was. I'm going to go to the museum and see what they got there. See if they
Yeah.
got some of that. But Ed Oskowski said to me, "Hey, we don't really have a monument here." I go, "What do you mean?" And if you look, we do have two. We have 2 stones,
Yeah.
but you can't really stop and look at them. The one for World War II and one for World War I, right?
I think so. Yes.
So he put the buzz in my ear about trying to get something done. So I came here, I talked to people, got a great committee, and we wound up talking to the mayor, for selectman at the time.
Yeah.
He was a Democrat. What was her name? Remember her name?
I have a hard time with yesterday.
Oh,
Remember?
man, I should know. Well, we floated the idea to her.
Yeah.
And she said, well, that sounds great. So we started forming a committee. We went around, we got those little statues, we were selling pins and everything. And the community here was amazing, wasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, Oxford Paint and Hardware at the time,
Yes, they were
the
tremendous.
sheriff's department,
Yeah.
a lot of people donated.
Yes.
And we got it done in 10 months.
Yeah.
Everybody told me it'd take 2 years. I said, you don't know me in the committee.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, Ed Oskowski's son excavated all the old dirt,
Yeah.
and he didn't charge us anything.
No, I know.
And but a lot of the digging had to be done by hand.
Yeah.
You get an army guy; he's used to digging, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so then we put in the nautical display flagpole, and I'll never forget the dedication. And you said some very nice things about me, and I appreciate it.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Never forget that. But we've done a lot.
Deserved it.
Yeah, this town has grown from. I remember when we still wanted to start doing the parades and stuff, and
Yeah.
we had one of the very first things at the town hall. We had the 8th grade class. It just started playing music,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
these kids were. Well, I'm over the years. I'm sure they got a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were
but now this town has a great parade, right?
Yeah,
every year?
I haven't been involved,
Yeah, I know. You're like you're not 20 years old anymore. You know.
well, I can still walk. I walk every day, so.
Oh yeah, I know you got a new dog too. I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Your wife's been telling me all about you. But anyway, what made you join this post? Why did you join this post? And your commitment was large too. I mean, you've been a commander.
Yeah.
You've been doing everything for a lot of years, and it's time that you step back. I understand that because I'm getting to that point too.
Yeah.
You know, where I've done a lot here, but I don't live here anymore. But I do a lot down in Florida,
Yeah.
and you get to a point you get tired.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, you do.
But I said to myself, I have to come to Oxford. I want people to see this post because it's a little post that could.
Yeah, this was a good post. Yeah.
Tell people who this post is named after. Speaking of townspeople,
This is David S. Miles.
David S. Miles. And he was on the Dorchester, remember?
Yes.
Yeah, he died on the Dorchester.
Yeah. He was just in. He wasn't in that long, He was only a young fellow.
Yeah,
And the ship went down.
yeah. And that's a famous, Dorchester's a famous 4 chaplains.
Yeah.
We used to do a ceremony here every year for the 4 chaplains.
Yeah.
But yeah, David S. Miles Post, 174. And yeah, I want to take a little spin around here and show everybody what the building looks like. Still got the rope over there. I see the rope with a bell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for the bell on the roof, yeah.
Yeah, one-room schoolhouse, and they used to ring the bell. And they do it on New Year's. I did, but are you still doing it, I guess, on New Year's?
I have no idea.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But I had to come up here and you think about it. I've been a member of this post almost 40 years.
Yeah.
You've been even longer. How many years you've been?
I
Let's see,
haven't
when
been
did they
active.
invent the wheel? Oh,
I haven't been active in a long time. So
yeah, I
it's
know.
been 30
But
years.
you're not as young as you used to be.
No,
Yeah,
91.
91. You look great for 91. And that wife of yours keeps you moving.
Yes, she does.
Yes. So, but anyway, why did you join her? When did you join? Do you remember?
Bobby Fritz made me come.
Bobby Fritz, yeah. You two
said-
were quite the team, you and Bobby.
Yeah, yeah. Anything we did in here, we did together,
Yeah, Legion Baseball was big with you two.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, Bobby was super. I miss him. Something terrible.
I learned something from Bobby Fritz,
Yeah.
I learned who the most important guy is on a submarine. The cook.
He could cook too.
Yeah, he says, that's the most important guy on the submarine.
Yeah.
Forget the
Yeah.
captain, whatever. You always want to be friends with the cook. So,
Yeah.
well, if you had a memory that you have of this post,
Bobby Fritz.
Bobby Fritz would be
Yeah,
you and him working together on the Legion
Yeah.
baseball and everything.
yeah.
Because I remember in the parades, Bobby always went. We used to have one guy, an older guy, that carried the American flag, and when he passed, Bobby said, "That's mine."
Yeah, yeah. That was, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he lived near
was-
me too, yeah. He had a farm up there.
Yeah, he was super nice, nice fellow. Oh,
Yeah, we had a lot of great people here,
yeah.
a lot of great people. But, well, I don't know when I'll be back again, but, anything else you want to say about this post or?
I just loved it when I was active in it, and they did a lot of things for the town.
Yeah, the town is very supportive. I believe this building, I could be wrong,
Goes to them.
it belongs to them.
Yeah,
But we pay them $5 a year supposedly.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and they allow us to use this facility.
Yeah,
But this is a little post that could. I'm proud to have been a commander here too,
yeah,
and work with people like you, Bobby Fritz, and everything. But
the women there were tremendous at that time.
yeah,
They did a lot of work for.
they were on a lot of the committees.
Oh, yeah,
They were to raise money for the monument and everything.
Bertha Miles and
And Pat Keck.
Pat Keckler were super.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I've been around for a while, and I go to a lot of different posts. You always find the ladies are
Oh,
the big part of movers and shakers.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah. Well, I'm going to be meeting a commander soon, a new commander. I've never met him. I just had the honor of meeting a past commander and finance guy now.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else you want to mention?
It was a good place to work. And
The young people, you want to get young people involved, shouldn't we?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's tough now. We had to go in the service. They don't, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's on less than 1% join the military now.
Yeah, yeah.
But do they still have Legion baseball, or do you know? Because you used to go to all the games.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Yeah, went to every game.
and I know the townspeople were very supportive.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's a nice town, and a lot of people here support our veterans,
Yes,
and that's great. And that's where every post should have that.
yes, yeah.
You know, this place has always been special to me, Bill.
Yes,
And we're going to take a look around.
okay.
See, we have the MIA POW table,
Yeah.
and that is nice. Do you have any idea who these people are? I know that's Harold. Remember Harold?
Yeah, yeah. He was commander here.
Yeah, he did a lot. In fact, he came and visited me in Leesburg. He came down and visited me one time.
Is that right?
Yeah, but he wanted to sleep on the couch on the outside. I don't know why.
He walked from here to the gas station, I guess, and he collapsed and had a heart attack at time.
Yeah, one winter he went off the side of the road.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah.
Well, he was a Vietnam vet, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah. So you got a lot of flags. You got the state flag,
yeah.
Oxford flag, post flag. Quite a nice room. A lot of memories here.
Yes.
Yeah, Harold was the guy who started that bar, put that bar in.
Oh, jeez. Did a beautiful job with that.
I mean, if you rent in the hall, I mean, that's something you could stock it up and sell hose right upstairs.
Yeah.
It hasn't been used since I've been there.
Well,
He used to.
get on it then.
Yeah, there's a lot more people here to do things. You know.
Oh, yeah. I remember this photo. That was the guy, Memorial Day 2004. Yeah, I was here from Terry and James Gallery. It was up the road here in Oxford. And that's D-Day.
Yeah.
That's Utah Beach. And that's,
I know the general, but I just.
yeah. He's one of us that started the
He died
Legion.
right after this.
Yeah, yeah. But we got a kitchen behind here.
Yeah.
Maybe we can open the door and look at it. Oh yeah, and that's your office, right? You got an office?
That's an office.
Not your office?
No, it's full of junk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It needs to be cleaned out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is the upstairs, and this is the. If you look around, this is the hall, and that's the rope with the bell, because Any idea when this place was built? Anybody know?
Jeez, I have no idea.
I mean, it was a schoolhouse, one-room school.
Right, it was a one-room schoolhouse.
Yeah.
And that, from my understanding, is everything from here that way was built by the veterans.
Yeah. I think
Well,
so.
Ron, why don't you lead us down the stairs and we'll see what we're going to see the canteen. Unfortunately, it's closed. It'll open up though.
I tended bar.
Huh?
I tended bar and I can't think downstairs.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, we got the restrooms up here. and
Yeah.
We got restrooms downstairs too.
Yes.
And that's where we're going, downstairs. Oh, that's a famous picture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice place.
It's the first time I've been down here in years.
Well, I don't know what time you get the time? You don't open till 3, right?
20 after 12.
Oh, wow. We got a ways to go before the bar opens up, huh? Yeah. And here's Rocky. This is Rocky Miles. Rocky was Bob Miles' son,
Yeah.
and Bob Miles was part of the family that the Dorchester,
Yeah.
David S. Miles. David S. Miles was brother of Bobby, I think, right? Or was that his? I don't know what the relation, but it was the Miles family.
Yes.
And Rocky was also Miles, and he was. Oh, and look at that young fella. What a handsome guy. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, Rocky was a Vietnam veteran,
Yeah.
and this was one of my favorite guys, Joe T.
Okay.
Joe T. If you go look in that corner over there. There's a couple of bar stools.
Yeah.
That's where he and I always played cribbage.
Yeah.
You know,
He ran everything. He was a nice guy.
he was fantastic, and his wife Helen had the bar until she was like 90 some odd years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She used to call me and quit I ran the bar then. Huh? Oh, I was commander.
Yeah.
She said I quit, and I'd talk her back in. And
She would never quit, really.
no,
You know.
no.
But yeah. So we got a nice pool table here,
Yeah.
and what else we got down here? So that's where. What is this? Who are these guys? Anybody know?
I have no idea. No, I wasn't here when I was.
Yeah, this table even wasn't here when I was here.
No.
Remember the event we did here for John Tressel? John, he was on the front page of the newspapers when they invaded Iraq.
Oh,
Margaret's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margaret's son.
Yeah.
And I had a big poster made up and we put it on the wall.
Yeah.
I had it up at the Great Oak School. All the kids signed it.
Yeah.
And then we had a nice event for him, welcome him home, and he came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. John is around, but hopefully I'll run into him later.
We used to do a lot of stuff for the town. You know.
Yeah. Oh, we got a nice bar here. We got all the.
I spent a few hours at this bar.
For me.
I spent.
You know, I got a couple of these bar stools, the original ones. They're in my house at my little bar.
Is that right?
I got some of Oxford right there. And this is quite the picture, huh?
Yeah.
You don't want to see drunk. No, that ain't right. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they serve food here too, right? You serve food, right?
Yes.
Certain nights?
Well, we will be doing it again. We serve is we have some clams and hot dogs and stuff, but we are going to be opening up the kitchen again because we just got a cook. We didn't have anybody to cook.
It's a nice little bar,
Yeah,
or canteen, I should say.
there used to be a big table over there. And every Friday they played cards. Guys would play cards.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but this corner, that's what me and Joe T used to.
Yeah.
We'd have a lot of conversations, and but he was tough in cribbage. I don't think I ever beat him. But anyway, oh, let's go look at the kitchen. Kitchen's upstairs. You still got this chair here, John. You might want to look at this chair if you still got it. Look, I've been staying at John's house. You know,
Yeah.
John's got a beautiful house up in the lake, and everywhere you go, from his basement to the first floor is 13 steps
Yeah.
or 12 steps. The next steps to go up to the bedroom is another 12. It's 25 steps to get to the bedroom. I'm getting too old, so you got a nice chair up there, you know?
Yeah.
Check it out, John. You might want to put one in the house in case I come and visit again.
I see. Okay.
Who are seated in the presence of men and women who are willing to sacrifice their lives in defense of this country. They demand that you conduct in the club honor that dedicated to the memorial of those who will not return. Nice words.
Yeah.
Here's the kitchen. You guys have a great kitchen.
Yeah. This was,
Wow, look at this. Yeah.
everybody worked in here.
Yeah. So,
We used to open it up every Memorial Day. It used to be.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one thing about Oxford is not a very big town, but you always had a great parade. And I came up a couple times from Florida, and I marched in the parade with you.
Yeah.
And would march with you. And this little town supported veterans.
Yes.
And on Memorial Day, I wish I could have been here this Memorial Day, but I had to come up earlier for family obligations, which I don't want to put on tape.
No.
So, okay, well, that's a tour of the kitchen. We pretty much covered the whole post.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys both for coming on Central Florida Salute YouTube. And, our YouTube channel is seen all over the world. So if you get a call from Hollywood, either one of you, I want 10%. Yeah. So, okay, well, that's a wrap. And, well, we're going to say goodbye. And I know you know how to do it because you watched me do it with the other gentleman, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, to all our veterans out there, active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time. Okay. That's that. That's a wrap. Today I'm at AMVETS Post 2006, a major sponsor of Central Florida Salute, and I want to introduce to you the commander here, Ronnie Mack. Ronnie, tell us a little bit about AMVETS 2006. Where are you located? And
we are at 500 North Canal Street, Leesburg, Florida. It's right off of 441, between 441 and Main Street on Canal. Can't miss us. And we're a veterans organization, along with, we have an auxiliary, and we have sons of veterans that are related some form or another to a veteran. And we do a lot for a lot of charitable donations and stuff to charities in the area and in the county. And we're a major sponsor to Central Florida Salute. We're proud of it. We're glad to be. You guys do a heck of a job, and we'll sponsor you as long as I'm here. We're going to sponsor you. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, we do. Sue and I really appreciate it. We're a two-person operation, and what we try to do with education and supporting our veterans community, and you supporting us, is major thing. It's major.
We're glad to do it, Bob. We're glad to do it.
And you have sons here, you have auxiliary here,
You got a website too, if somebody wants to join?
Yep, it's don't punch into www. It's ambets-2006.org, and it'll take you right to our website, Facebook page, and all that's there, and you'll be able to find that. The webmaster, he tries to get the calendar on there every month, anything pertinent. There's a lot of other links on there for veterans to find out where to get help for certain claims and stuff like that. Our webmaster's really into that stuff. That's the guy you ought to be interviewing right there. So,
Well, you know what,
he's got
Ronnie?
a lot of stuff.
You have a lot of clout. You tell him to talk to me, and we'll get him on the show, okay?
I can do that. I can
All
do
right.
that.
But I just want to, on behalf of Sue and myself, we want to thank AMVETS 2006 because you guys are the major players behind us, and we appreciate it.
But we just wish we could do more. We really do.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.